I don't think we played clean tonight. I don't think we played to our standard, nowhere near our standard. But I think the thing that you can't test or quantify is the resilience that a team has and the ability to persevere and see through things and overcome things. And this team has that. And so, we've yet to, put up a performance to our standard. But, we continue to find ways to win. And when you win games like we've won games, that builds a ton of character. And, kind of in, I guess, character development mode with the games we've played and how we've won. And it'll only serve us great things in the future.
I love Jalen Hurts. Great player, great coach among his fellow players, Great leader. He calms down everyone. And, Chris, at times last night, the Eagles' offense reminded me a little bit of the offense of the other team in Pennsylvania. They had one running back that was getting things done in DeAndre Swift, and everything they did was getting suffocated. Pass to the left, suffocated. Pass to the right, suffocated. They weren't getting the ball down the field until they did. We'll talk about that. But they felt like they were sputtering. They felt like they weren't doing what they usually do. Yeah, they've got that, hey, the sticks are only 9 yards for us. If we get to 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, we're going to convert. They've got that in their bag. But it just felt like their offense wasn't getting it done. Testament to the Chiefs' defense, but testament to the Eagles, Chris, to not get discouraged. They kept believing, they kept pushing, and finally the dam broke.
Yeah, they just hang in there, right? They hang in there even when things aren't going well, and they just feel like, wait, at some point our physicality going to wear you down, or, we got so many weapons that somebody's going to make a play. Whether that's DeAndre Swift ripping off a big run or them throwing a little screen past him over the middle. Or, wait, we have 2 number 1 superstar receivers on the outside where if you dabble and play man-to-man too much against A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, they're going to beat you, plain and simple. So they have a lot of answers or a lot of things they can go to in big moments and feel very comfortable about it. Now, to your point, and about their offense isn't the same as last year. They're not the same on offense and defense. I don't think they're as dominant, and maybe this will come in handy because we've brought this up. They have been in more dogfights this year. They've had to show more resiliency and grit at the end of football games to win some games. But I do think, do they miss Nick Sirianni? I mean, not Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen. Shane Steichen's a brilliant offensive mind. They're not as creative on the offensive side of the ball. And I think Sean Desai on the defensive side, he's still finding his way too. So they're not quite as creative on either side as they were even with Jonathan Gannon on defensive coordinator. So I still think maybe that's a little bit of a work in progress. But nonetheless, their stubbornness, their fortitude, whatever you want to say, their belief in themselves, all of that, it just shines through every game, every big situation. And they had every chance last night to get a little rattled. And, for lack of a better phrase, pee down their leg a little bit and go, whoa, this ain't our night, and we might screw up or whatever else. But they weathered the storm, and, as the game went on, they did kind of start to wear the Chiefs down, and they started to get a feel for the Chiefs' creativity on the defensive side of the ball, and they started to make some plays on the offensive side of the ball, and none bigger than, of course, the 2 big drives at the end of the football game for them to win it.
We talked about this yesterday as it relates to the Lions. You don't want it to come too easily. You want to be tested.
Yeah.
You want to be battle-hardened. You want to have been in similar spots. The Eagles last year had it easy, especially when they got to the playoffs. It was an easy ride. Blow out the Giants. Easy win over the 49ers because Brock Purdy left the game early. And then you get yourself into a Super Bowl and you change. Couple of 4th downs where Nick Sirianni in the regular season might have gone for it, didn't go for it, make a difference in that Super Bowl game. This year, they've had to earn everything. And, early on when they were winning, we're saying, yeah, but they're not really playing great teams. Wait until the schedule toughens up. Well, it has, and they're finding ways to dig deep and win, and there's no reason to believe that won't continue. They've got some tough games coming up, but this idea that they are physical, that they fight, that they scratch, that they claw, and they wait for the opportunity, the right opportunity. And I texted you last night, about how they're not throwing the ball down the field. What's this little, pass to the left, pass to the right? The Chiefs are all over it. They're not even trying to get it down the field because, there was that sequence first half where Chris Jones, back-to-back plays, puts Jalen Hurts on the ground. If you're not going to have time to let a play develop down the field because of Chris Jones, don't even try to do it. Well, then came that dagger, the moment where it's like, Chris is going to be right and I'm going to be wrong about this when the Eagles are going to win this game. The throw to Devontae Smith, well executed, great adjustment by Devontae Smith. The ball was a little bit underthrown. Smith makes the catch, and that was the play I was talking about earlier. The Chiefs don't make that play to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He drops the ball. That's maybe a smidge overthrown, but he still should have caught it. And Devontae Smith, if we can show it, makes that catch, adjusting to the ball on that
ball
beautiful
was a
play
smidge
when they finally get the
underthrown.
ball down the field.
Right.
Yeah, more than a smidge. He had to stop. But when you have a guy beating that bad, see, that's what Patrick Mahomes was saying. That was his point. When the guy's that open, you can take a little off of it and not stretch the limits of the speed and the overall ability to make the catch in full stride. Yeah, I've got this. He's got this guy beat a little off of it. He makes the catch, and who cares if he comes down at the 1 because we've got the ultimate weapon. He doesn't need to score. Sorry, fantasy managers who have Devontae Smith on your team. He doesn't need to score. He just needs to get within 2 yards because then we press the button and we score the touchdown.
Yeah, they're amazing that way. They are. They just always seem to come through in those moments. I told myself when I picked the Dolphins against the Eagles, I said I'm not picking against the Eagles anymore. Maybe when they play the 49ers and all that, but I'm done with it. I've seen enough to know, like I said, other than one game last year in the Super Bowl against an all-time great team in Kansas City, they come through in big moments. And, the bind they put you in, like even that play right there, the throw to Devontae Smith that you're talking about, right? They have so many things that you have to worry about that when you play them, you got to take some calculated risks. And that's what's great about Steve Spagnuolo and what he does on the defensive side of the ball. He's brilliant and coming up with, I think I could do this. This is a little crazy, but through my studies and knowing your formation and your personnel set, what you like to do, I could take a gamble here. Might leave a voided area, whatever, but you don't attack that area through my studies a whole lot, so I'm gonna go for it and try to put you in a bad situation, right? In that scenario right there, he's got Devontae Smith who runs 4-3 against Mike Edwards, who's a safety, right? But they're worried about the run game, Swift, maybe the quarterback draw. He might do that. So they're playing a defense where they're going to, let's take a chance here. We're going to leave Mike Edwards on him man-to-man. We'll see where it goes. Hopefully they don't attack that. Oh, they attacked it. We're in trouble. But we've seen this whether, the Cowboys outplayed the Eagles in the second half. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo, they outplayed them. They can't get in the end zone in the big moment, and the Eagles do. The Dolphins kind of had moments of that game where you went, they're going to get back in this. They're going to make it interesting. Interception down by the red zone by Tua. Darius Slay makes it. They just always seem to do this type of stuff. And that's why I'm not surprised by them. They're not playing their best football, but they're still the best team in football. And I think that's what's amazing about the team they have and, the leader in Jalen Hurts and everything else about that football team. It's just very, very impressive.
If you tell me going into last night's game, A.J. Brown has 1 catch for 8 yards,
right?
I'm saying, Chiefs win this game.
Yeah.
But it's the other guys that stepped up. Now, we've seen A.J. Brown get a little frustrated earlier in the year when he wasn't getting the ball as much as he would have preferred, and so much for the MVP case for A.J. Brown. You can't have 1 catch for 8 yards and build that case. You can't say, I was just the decoy last night and open everything else up. You still got to have your numbers to stay in that conversation. And a game like last night may get him off the list altogether and put Hurts back at the top of it. And that play, Chris, the brilliance of that play call, when you've shown that you can run it with DeAndre Swift, that Jalen Hurts can run it. It's 1st and 10.
Yeah.
You're in the perfect spot in the field
exactly
to take a
right.
shot.
That's what I'm saying.
And you catch them on their heels.
Right.
You catch them on their heels on 1st and 10. They're not thinking it's coming then because you haven't been doing it. That's also the brilliance of it. It's a little okey-doke involved. You're not throwing it down the field. Hey, they're not throwing it down the field. And you have a lapse on that play when you're thinking it's going to be Swift running it or a little angle route or Jalen Hurts is going to do a quarterback draw. You're not thinking Devontae Smith is going to run right by me here for the play that sets up the go-ahead touchdown.
No, that's exactly right. And, guys, if you could show the pack one more time, if you don't mind, the same one we just showed there, because I think that's the point here. And I would love to, like, at least slow down that first part, that first play when we see the whole play, the original play. Look, it's 1st and 10 to your point. It's a 4-down defensive line. They're worried about run game. I think Gainwell's in right here. They're worried about, Jalen Hurts. They might call the quarterback design run. What are they going to do? They got a 4-man rush. Willie Gay is down here on the 40-yard line over the slot. They're going to blitz him and take a calculated risk because they're going, wait, this Eagles offensive line still a bunch of big mofos. We can't just play them straight up all the time. We got to create something. So go ahead, let it play out, guys. There goes Willie Gay, blitz. So now they're trying to take a little bit of a gamble to take away everything in the Eagles offense, and that leaves Mike Edwards in a tough situation against Devontae Smith. And, in that, they're blitzing. You got Charvarius Ward. See, they put Smith and A.J. Brown on the same side. They're trying to bracket A.J. Brown, who's running the under route there. And I think it is an adjustment with formation and what they saw through the game that they finally said, okay, let's attack this, to your point, Mike. And they got the right matchup, and Devontae Smith is – hey, he's a superstar on any other team in football. He's just on a team, and one of the rare teams in the league that – has a receiver that's better than he is, and that's what's incredible about the Eagles. It really is, and they're just tough to stop, and that's without Dallas Goedert and company. And the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, they run the ball, they're physical, they got it all on the offensive side, and they haven't even hit their full stride yet.
It's funny, the more you watch a play, the more little things you notice, and you could see there was that split second of oh shit from L'Jarius Sneed when he got flat-footed. When
I know,
A.J.
is
Brown
he supposed to
underneath.
get back there and help out a little bit, right? Once he sees his guy go in and they're bracketing it, I would think that frees him up to go back out, but he also might have to worry about, wait, what if A.J. Brown, one's of those fake, go in and comes back out? I got to wait there for that too. It depends on what the rules are.
Watch this angle, though. Watch him right there. It's like, when he does that, it's like, oh, no.
I think he knows it's a matchup he doesn't like. I don't think it's his fault, though, Mike, here, because I think they're bracketing A.J. Brown. Drew Tranquill's taking him inside. Right, but I think you're right. He hits that moment of going, "Oh no!"
Just that.
Not
that it's his fault.
Right.
It's just like,
I wish I could get back there and help our safety, who has no business covering Devontae Smith one-on-one. I think you're right. That's probably what's kind of going through his head in that moment right there.
It's the chess match, and I mean at every level of football, but at the highest level where everyone can execute all the various plays and throws and whatever. You make a gamble, like you said. It's 1st and 10. They send Willie Gay. They're bracketing A.J. Brown underneath. They've got Mike Edwards lined up on Devontae Smith. They're taking the chance that they didn't call the play with the primary route because they haven't been throwing it down the field. We've been getting to Jalen Hurts. We'll let the safety cover Devontae Smith for this play. We'll make that calculated risk and it blow up in their faces. And that's that body language from L'Jarius Sneed. Like, this is not the defense to use against this specific play. So kudos to the Eagles. When they needed it, they pulled it off. They got the score, and they got the win. And, we showed the quarterback push play that ultimately resulted in the go-ahead touchdown. I get the whole Troy Polamalu angle here. Dallas Goedert said either before or after the Week 2 win over the Vikings, the only way to stop it is to do the Troy Polamalu thing and jump up over. Jumping up over isn't going to do anything against that. Because Jalen Hurts is so low, and he's ready for that part of it. When you jump, when someone's going at you low, when you jump, you're making it easier for them to put you down.
Well,
if we can show that.
Yeah.
They all jump up, and they all get knocked down. Jumping up is not going to do it. It just takes away force that you could use to push back against them.
Yeah.
When you're in a tug-of-war, you don't jump over the rope. You hold on to the rope.
Yeah, they're amazing at doing it, as we've discussed. They have 3 centers as far as, interior offensive linemen. Centers are usually the most explosive, twitchy offensive linemen of that group. So they can get off the ball. They're stout as hell there. We know their tackles are, they're giants. and Mailata and Lane Johnson. I mean, they're as big of humans as you're going to see. So they can just, impose their physical will on there. Mike, I was thinking about it last night. You're right. The Troy Polamalu jump over by the linebackers and safeties, it doesn't matter because, their feet aren't on the ground, and the wave of the offensive linemen and defensive linemen just carry them away, right? I was thinking last night because I was sitting there going, the Eagles, of course, are the kings of this, and we see defenses stopping other offenses, but nobody can stop the Eagles. What do you got to do? Somebody's going to have to change it up. I'm not so sure you might not have to say, hey, Chris Jones, don't get down in the 4-point stands. Maybe you might have to start asking defensive tackles, hey, just jump over the pile right away. The front line jump over it. Hit Jalen Hurts as soon as he gets the snap to where maybe one of the linemen can jump over and stop the momentum there, and then other people jumping over can too. I'm just throwing spitballing out. Because it's a great play. There's some great tactical aspects about it, and I, as a football player, think about, hey, how can you stop this? This is what I do, and that's just one thing I thought of, as I was sitting there watching it last night.
Well, and Chris, if this play is here to stay, that's fine. I want them. I don't want it to be an annual, are we going to get rid of this player or are we not going to get rid of it? Because I think what needs to happen now is the other teams need to scout, draft, and develop talent accordingly to stop it and to execute it. We need 3 centers. We're going to prioritize the center position. We're going to draft centers and make 2 of them guards. And we're going to have this wall, this interior wall that can do what the Eagles do. And in our evaluation of quarterbacks, we're going to look for guys that can squat 700 pounds. And on defense, we're going to look for the pieces we think we need. If anyone can ever figure out how to stop it, those are the guys we need. That's the body type we need. It all goes into, what you want to do on Sunday, that goes into who you're looking for throughout the college football season, throughout the combine and the pro days and all the stuff you're doing to prioritize your draft board. You're trying to put together a team that can do it if it's here to stay. So if it's here to stay, fine, let me know that so I can go out and get the guys so I can do this too. Because if I can take the 10 yards and move them to 9 yards, that's a hell of an advantage. Yeah. And that's the one thing that is going to be underrated all year long. Everybody else is dealing with a 10-yard chain. The Eagles are dealing with a 9-yard chain.
That's right.
And that's a huge difference maker in a close game.
No, that's right. That's why first and second down is so big against the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's where the Chiefs, for the most part of the night, won those downs to where the Eagles, it wasn't until late third quarter until the tush push, right? The brotherly shove, the tush push, the brotherly shove, the tush push. That's what you like, right? I'm going to say them because I know it annoys you.
How about the up your butt Joe Boo? Let's call it that.
Okay, well, the up your butt Joe Boo didn't come out till late in the third quarter, because the Chiefs did do a good situation or did a good job of keeping them out of those situations. But you get them there, and I've changed my thought on this play a little bit. I've seen enough to know you can stop this. You can't make it illegal because one team's awesome at it and the rest of football is not. You can't. That's where I would go against it. There was a time there where I worried, hey, is this going to be a player safety thing? Is this right? And I thought about that for a while, but as time has gone on and what we've seen this year is that not everybody can do this. And to me, it would seem cheap right now if they took this out of the game. It would be a little bit like we're taking this out because the Eagles are too good at it. Like, screw that. This is the NFL big boy football. Either, like you said, start drafting people that you can do it or draft people that can stop it. But we can't make a rule to change it because one team's kicking the shit out of everybody else doing it when the rest of the league has shown they can stop other teams from doing it.
It is amazing, though, when you think about the NFL's obsession with unintended consequences, and I just think they use that as an excuse to not change rules they don't want to change. But this is the ultimate unintended consequence. Years after they decided, you know what, we never throw a flag when an offensive player pushes a runner from behind. We never throw that flag, so let's just take that out of the rule book. Let's leave in the rule against pulling a player, but let's just take out the rule for pushing. And it took 15 years for someone to realize we can weaponize that rule change. So it was never put in to allow this. It just was a situation where the Eagles realized we could do it. And I think it happened at some point last season where they realized, you know what, we can do this. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And it worked, and they're the only ones who can perfect it. Others try, but there isn't that sense of inevitability when others do it.
No.
When everyone else does it, it's kind of like, is this going to work? Is this going to work?
Exactly.
There's a chance it's not going to work. When the Eagles do it, it's like, all right, let's see. How far are they going to push this pile?
Right.
Are they going to gain 5? Are they going to gain 10? Is it going to be one of these where they just carry it all the way to the end zone from the 50? Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.